I sat nervously in the dimly lit room, surrounded by flickering candles that cast eerie shadows on the walls. Before me lay the Ouija board, a mystical portal into the world of the unknown. My friends and I had gathered for a night of supernatural exploration, seeking answers from the spirits that dwelled in the ethereal realm. Little did we know the horrors that awaited us. We placed our fingertips lightly on the planchette, our breaths held in anticipation. With trembling voices, we invoked the spirits, asking, "Is there anyone here who wishes to communicate with us?" The room fell into an eerie silence, broken only by the faint crackle of the candles. And then, as if guided by an unseen force, the planchette began to move. Slowly at first, then with increasing speed, it glided across the board, spelling out words that formed an unsettling message. "I am here." Excitement and apprehension mingled within us as we continued to converse with the spirit. It claimed to be a young girl named Emily, trapped between the worlds of the living and the dead. Her responses were cryptic yet strangely comforting, drawing us deeper into the allure of the supernatural. As the night progressed, a chill settled over the room, the air thick with an otherworldly presence. Shadows danced along the walls, their movements unsettlingly fluid. Emily's messages took on a darker tone, her innocent facade giving way to something more sinister. With each question, her influence grew stronger, her hold on our minds tightening. She revealed details about our lives that we had never spoken of, secrets that should have remained hidden. Fear gripped us, but curiosity held us captive, desperate to unravel the mysteries that lay within her realm. But as the session wore on, Emily's true nature was revealed. Her once playful demeanor transformed into a malevolent force, mocking our fears and preying on our vulnerabilities. The planchette raced across the board, spelling out words that sent shivers down our spines. She knew our deepest fears and taunted us with them, using our own weaknesses against us. One by one, the candles flickered out, plunging the room into darkness. Panic seized us as we realized we were trapped in the clutches of an entity far more powerful than we had anticipated. We begged Emily to release us, to let us go, but her laughter echoed through the room, a haunting melody that chilled us to the core. Suddenly, a gust of wind that blew through the room, extinguishing the last remaining candle. In the pitch-black darkness, we could hear whispers, disembodied voices that seemed to surround us. The room became a swirling vortex of unseen terror, and we were but pawns in this wicked game. Terrifying images flashed before our eyes, images of death and despair. The walls seemed to close in on us, the air growing heavy with a palpable malevolence. Desperation fueled our actions as we frantically tried to end the session. But the planchette refused to yield to our pleas. It moved with a frenzied energy, carving a path of darkness. Hours passed, or maybe it was an eternity. Exhausted and drained, we finally managed to break the connection. The room fell silent, the malevolent presence dissipating as quickly as it had come. But the damage had been done. In the days that followed, strange occurrences plagued us. Objects moved of their own accord, whispers echoed through empty hallways, and shadowy figures lurked at the edges of our vision. Emily had not been the only spirit we had awakened. A legion of restless souls had found their way into our world. We sought help, consulting experts in the occult, desperate to sever the ties that bound us to the supernatural realm. Cleansings, blessings, and rituals were performed, but the spirits remained. The Ouija board had become a cursed artifact, a conduit for darkness that we could never fully banish. Its secrets had tainted our lives, forever changing us. We had danced with the unknown, and in return, we were left with a sense of dread that clung to our souls. So, I implore you, dear reader, approach the Ouija board with caution. Its allure may be irresistible, but the price of curiosity can be steep. The spirits that reside in the ethereal realm are not to be trifled with, for they can turn our world into a living nightmare. I sat in a dimly lit room, the air heavy with anticipation and nervous energy. Before me lay the Ouija board, a portal to the unknown. My friends and I had gathered for a night of exploration, eager to delve into the realms of the supernatural. Little did we know the horrors that awaited us. We placed our fingers gently on the planchette, our hearts pounding in unison. With bated breath, we asked, "Is there anyone here with us?" The room fell into silence, and then, with a sudden jolt, the planchette started to move. The words formed slowly, letter by letter, as if guided by an unseen force. Yes. Excitement and apprehension mingled within us as we continued our questions. The entity claimed to be a spirit named Samuel, a lost soul seeking solace in the world of the living. We asked innocuous questions at first, testing the limits of this newfound connection. But soon, the mood turned darker, and our curiosity turned into something more sinister. The planchette moved with a new intensity, its path erratic and forceful. Samuel's responses became cryptic, his words filled with ominous warnings. Fear gripped us, but it was too late to turn back. The veil between the living and the dead had been breached, and we were prisoners to the game we had initiated. As the night wore on, the room grew colder, the air thick with an otherworldly presence. Shadows danced along the walls, distorting and contorting in grotesque shapes. Samuel's messages became more malevolent, his threats leaving us paralyzed with terror. Time seemed to lose all meaning as we spiraled deeper into this nightmarish encounter. We pleaded for Samuel to leave us be, to release us from his grasp. But the planchette only laughed in response, its movements becoming more aggressive, as if taunting us. In our desperation, we decided to end the session. With trembling hands, we bid Samuel goodbye, promising to never invoke his presence again. The planchette, however, had other plans. It refused to release us, its movements growing faster and more erratic. The room shook with an unnatural force. Objects crashing to the ground as if thrown by an invisible hand. Whispers filled the air, their voices a cacophony of torment and suffering. The walls seemed to close in on us, suffocating our very souls. In a final act of desperation, we flung the Ouija board across the room, its wooden surface shattering upon impact. A deafening silence fell over the room, broken only by our ragged breaths. The malevolent presence dissipated, leaving behind a sense of emptiness and dread. Weeks passed, and we tried to forget the horrors we had witnessed. But the memory of that night haunted our every waking moment. Strange occurrences plagued our lives. Objects moved on their own. Whispers echoed through empty rooms, and shadows followed us wherever we went. We sought help from experts in the occult, desperate to rid ourselves of the lingering darkness. Cleansings and rituals were performed, but nothing could erase the taint that had been unleashed. Our lives had become a nightmare, a constant battle against the forces we had awakened. The Ouija board had become our curse, a gateway to a realm we could never fully close. The line between the living and the dead had blurred, and we were forever caught in the crossfire. Our innocence was lost, replaced by a chilling awareness of the unseen horrors that lurk just beyond our perception. So I caution you, dear reader, to heed my tale as a warning. The Ouija board is not a game. It is a doorway to the unknown, and once opened, it may never be closed. The spirits that lie beyond are not to be trifled with. The consequences can be far more terrifying than we can ever imagine.